There's nowhere left to go in the world but forward, so forward we go to Wizard Castle. Take off? I wonder what that's about. Anyway, though, we find ourselves in the ruins of a village the wizard destroyed, and he's now holed up here alongside the Necromancer, the Cyclops, and I don't know who you are. But it seems he's using one final spell to lift his castle into the air so we can't follow him. Unfortunately, he's not quite right in that assumption, for we have one final hidden move. Crack Drill! Okay, so I don't get motion sickness often, but I kinda get a little bit motion sick here. Thankfully this is an easy section. You can see where the rocks are going to fall. There are tiny little pebbles falling from them right before they fall through the screen. Though to be fair, they usually fall where you are currently. Like, yeah, see the rock fell to the right there. And that's a short section. Thank you for being merciful. After you puke off the cliff, we enter the wizard's castle, made completely of crystal. There was probably a different castle here, or maybe it was just one big village. Either way, though, most of this is artificial, and, well, I guess the wizard doesn't really care for anybody who was here, because he's just got them trapped in the walls, all dead and everything. So these are the cultists. Not really fond of these guys, though to be fair, they were kinda easy here. Maybe it's just for lower defense runs, but these guys can actually wipe the floor with me. They are, of course, very heavily magic-based, and you don't really want to mess with them in that fashion. Thankfully, they've got mostly basic magics, you know, just projectiles, splash magic, and nothing too fancy like the tornadoes or anything. You don't have to worry about them doing that and wasting time, which is good because this section of the stage is fairly short. Reason being, well, you'll see in a minute, but, I'm just gonna drop Mega Man in there. You can probably figure out why I might be doing that for a certain, thing they're known for in their end games, and pretty much every series, really. No matter what Mega Man series, there's always a... Actually, I don't think this is the final spot, so... Well, it might be. I don't know if I can just lead off into it or not. And... I can. This is definitely it. In here we're going to find many doors, but we can only access one from the get-go. And here we are in a very strange room, paintings everywhere.
I'm in your castle.
And this weirdo. This is the painter. True to his name, he paints a whole lot of stuff, and then it comes to life and tries to ram into you. Various paintings will take different amount of hits, and they all have different movement speed. They will explode on contact, which can help speed this up, but of course if you touch him and explode, that hurts you and puts you on your back, meaning that's less time to hit the painter himself. At the moment he's not really painting too much, just one painting at a time, meaning he's not really coming down all that often. Still though, we've done a pretty good amount of damage already. This is not the most tedious boss in the game by any stretch of the imagination. It's not Corn Boss, it's not, shoot, what was the other one? I forget the other one that takes forever. Ice Boss, kind of. Frost King. But he does go down pretty quickly if you have high strength and good magic. Just because magic is pretty much the best way to deal with these guys, you can pretty much multi-hit any given painting he makes. There are a few where you can only get like 2 or 3 hits off, but guys like, whatever this red one is, he does take quite a few hits. And of course, when he starts drawing multiple pieces of art, then you can just get a lot of hits off at a time, rather. But arrows don't really do too much. You can fire them pretty rapidly if you have enough agility, but even then, I think Splash Magic is just the best thing to go with overall. Also, if I'm correct, this is based off of the, shoot, what's it called? The... can't think of the word. The prototype art? Forgive me, but I actually can't think of the word at the moment. And I'm being chased by a cat, an octopus, and whatever the heck that blue guy's supposed to be, so don't mind me if I'm not thinking of things correctly. Oh, he doesn't say anything anymore. He's got a bunch of very bizarre lines, like, I'm in your castle, my art will be your demise, my brush is mightier than the sword, which is just untrue, because first off, we have a sausage, not a sword. It would really pay to notice that, painter. And second off, his brush kinda sucks. He's a pretty easy boss overall. Of course, his elephant is pretty mighty. Thing's not going down. It's a very hardy elephant. Oh yeah, and I do love the animations of these things. They're just so bizarre, and I partially don't know what's going on here, but I kinda do because it's Castle Crashers. It's just kinda weird like that, but yeah, this is a pretty interesting boss. And of course, it's completely unique. We haven't fought this guy before. And while it's one of those you can't always hit him bosses, which annoys some people, myself included, it really doesn't bother me. Especially since when you get him about to this amount of health and then kill all his paintings, he just starts summoning Arden out of nowhere, but you can hit him constantly. Things still explode, but they also die instantly. Also, if you kill that unicorn while it's still on, or if you kill the painter while the unicorn is still on screen, you get a unique weapon. I don't think I do that there though, because I don't usually get it knowingly. I mean, once you know how to get it, it's really easy to do so. Just wait for a unicorn to be on screen and then finish the painter off. It's easy as that. Paintings do just automatically explode after a while. Ew. Brad, no, don't eat his puke. Oh. I don't care how good a condition that looks like it's in. Don't do that. Just don't. Well, this isn't the only boss we're going to fight here, but we get money for it anyway. Which is odd, but hey, I'll take it. Free money. Why not? It's really the last points where we'll get all that money. Much money, really. This and the next boss. Once we're done here, though, just smack these crystals until they break. Or the middle one, anyway. I kinda like breaking all the crystals, but you only need to break the center one. That's the important one. But, I mean, you can sell the rest of them once you break them into chunks, so why not break them? Please note you can't actually do that. The second boss, however, is very, very tedious, and just as easy as the previous one, though. It is the Cyclops' Revenge. Of course, he's not the only one fighting here. But, starting off, this is pretty much the same fight as the Cyclops the first time we fought him, except he's got a much wider range with that, geez, I can't think of words today. Casket, that's it. The fireballs, I think they move a bit faster than his daggers, but this is why I hate this battle. It's also a combination with the Conehead Groom fight. Most notably, the easy but very tedious time waster portion. He just walks around, the Cyclops pogos around on the casket, and you just have to wait for them to finish. You're not gonna get hit by this unless you don't really do it correctly. Or try to hit him while he's doing that, which you can't do at all. The Groom doesn't take any damage, you can't actually hit the Cyclops, so if you play it smart in any way, shape, or form, you're not gonna get hits. Just stay at the other end, wait for an opportunity to pass, which there are plenty of them. And just acknowledge the fact that the Groom will speed up at times, and you've got this in the bag. Really, it's just the normal Cyclops battle portion it's not even that difficult, but it's harder than that at least. Plus, this part's kind of fun. I like the original Cyclops battle. Of course, in the original Cyclops battle, you did have to go through an entire stage to get to it. Here, it's only the second boss, and it's pretty easy to get to. Of course, then again, you do have to get through the first part of the stage, which, as I said before, can be pretty difficult if you, I guess, do a low defense run or something. If their magic bothers you, then yeah, it's not going to be easy to get through. Also, I'd like to point out that there are two corpses here from an earlier battle, also present in the Fire World. There's the bones of the first dragon, and for some reason the skin of the second one. I don't know how that happened. That one, the other dragon just kind of fell into the abyss after the first one died. I guess it just lost the will to live and, again, lost its bones and organs and all that for some reason. It's just kind of weird how that happened, you know? Ah well, at least we don't have to fight that dragon. I still don't know how to beat it. It's just completely invincible. There's no way you can take that thing on, man. Alright, get back into your casket. I'm probably not going to kill him this round. I mean, I don't want to be pessimistic, but he's still got a fair amount of health left. Gonna take a little while. He's gonna fireball now. Yep, knew it. Of course, there's also the... Actually, does this even have the original problem with the Cyclops battle where he'd sometimes try to melee you with his ranged attack? I don't think it actually is. He does a pretty good job of keeping far away when he uses his fireball attack. I guess it's because he's jumping around less, like he was in the original battle anyway. I mean, if you count jumping with a casket, then he's jumping a lot more, actually. But we're finished with him. That took longer than it should have. Thankfully, it's not too terribly long. Just again, there are a bunch of portions where you can't hit him, and I really do not care for that. So you get money from the Cyclops and the Groom, but as I said before, this is the last time where this is really going to happen. Right, we're done with the second battle. Only one more remains before we fight the Wizard. Of course, you know who it is by now. By process of elimination, there's only one guy remaining. Oh yeah, and just throwing this out there, but don't worry too much about dying. If you do, you don't have to repeat bosses, only that first section with all the cultists. Certainly there's no reason for me mentioning that, though. And now we begin the Necromancer battle, with what most people believe to be one of the best songs in the game, and I agree, this is Simple Sight, and it's a damn good song. The battle, on the other hand, well, initially it's not too bad. It's just an enemy encounter, which, you know, the enemies will always drop food when they die. The biggest problem here is the fact that they move at very weird speeds. This is definitely a bit different than certain enemies went at. It's all just very random. That's the biggest problem, other than the varied magic you're going to see from these guys, because of course they still retain that. But you're pretty powerful, and therefore these guys, they're a cakewalk, right? Yeah, Ninja's dead, and so is the Conehead. No, he's still going. There we go, that's gotta be it. Give him a few of the stomps. Patented stomps. Okay, here's where the battle gets terrible. Make sure to have sandwiches, because now there are a bunch of beefy dudes. Just everywhere, and you know what the worst thing is? They move very fast. However, sandwiches are not the be-all end-all of this fight. See, you might have noticed, but you can also grapple with beefy enemies in order to prevent them from throwing you when you're gigantic. But the thing is, that also slows you down, so you might get hit by other enemies when that's happening, or you might waste a sandwich. Oh, great anime finisher right there. But you might waste a sandwich just by clashing with one dude, and then another beefy dude will approach you and then interrupt you again. It's just a huge time waster battle, and let me tell you, this is not fun, because again, they move quickly, little enemies move quickly, they can hit you pretty easily, and this is one of those situations where the enemies can just really tear you apart just so very easily if you're not careful. Because they're magicking, there's the Ice Schemo over there who can freeze you, and yeah, it's just all in all, not a very good time. Though, once you've taken care of all the beefy dudes, or at the very least a majority of them, the ones that are annoying you, like at this point, the Brutes, he's really not too bad because he's keeping his distance, not interrupting me too much. Really, it's these guys that are interrupting me, and I don't care for it. Please leave Crag alone, friend of Crag. Or acquaintance of Crag, I suppose. Right, I am going to have to use a potion there, but honestly, only one potion used so far is really good. Like, I have just had runs completely destroyed by this fight. Heck, even the first section can pose a problem at times. Of course, a low defense run is very tricky here just because you're going to be taking a lot of hits no matter what. Now here's the fun but kinda long portion of the fight. We have a rival battle with a Necromancer. He's basically got all the moves you do. He does not like being juggled, though. You can hardly get him into the air, and even if you do, he's not going to be up there that long, so don't count on juggling him in the air or anything. He'll also defend shots, but he really can't defend forever, and it's not a huge issue because he'll just bounce back. You can get back in there pretty quickly, though. I mean, I don't have that much agility, but I'm still getting back to him without much fuss. Of course, he can break out of your attacks with magic attacks, but his are pretty easy to avoid. He does ever so love that air projectile. I don't think he uses a normal projectile, though. He does have splash magic, which are those little arms in the ground that he summons. But really, this is a very easy fight. You might be in a bit of danger if you used up all your potions beforehand, but especially with the position I'm in, I'm not going to have much trouble at all. Like, look how much health I've lost. He's hit me a few times, but I've barely taken any damage. The Necromancer himself is just really easy. But again, it's a fun fight. It's also a bit of a relief after the previous part of this battle with all the beefy dudes. It's just kind of nice to relax and have an even fight with Necromancer. Well, okay, it's not that even. I mean, he's definitely got a lot more health than I do. Though again, considering he's not doing much damage, I suppose I have at least a decent bit of health for this battle. Oh jeez, just threw the frickin' skeleton at me. I have to admit I do really like that attack. He just frickin' flings a skeleton that kinda just does the Sonic the Hedgehog / ninja run at you. Cause why not, right? Of course, he's using it a lot. I mean, it makes sense considering it's the attack that breaks him out of your attacks. And you know, if he didn't break out of your attacks, then he'd kinda be in trouble because then this happens. Just kinda kicking his ass, really. He's kind of tried to intimidate us throughout the game by summoning dead guys and just flying there for a while, but in the end, he's pretty easy. And this last bit of health shouldn't take too long to put down. There... Oh, well, he rolled out of the way. Oh man, this might be getting interesting. No, not really. And... Oh, wait. Oh, there he goes. Didn't even have an anime power-up form. Ah well, there he goes, back to his home planet. But first, he drops his sword, which is very good. 2 magic and 7 defense. Yeah, I'm definitely taking that. Crag will take the blade of his now dead opponents and move on for the final battle. Indeed, this crystal blocks the way to the wizard, so I suppose I should say my goodbyes now. Next time on Castle Thrashers, we'll go to the final battle, defeat the wizard, and save the final princess.